The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am is fine with me. Hi everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Welcome to our show. We're so happy you're here. It is February. It's a cold February day, February 12th, and it is snowing in the tri-state area here, so we didn't get it too bad in the city, but we did. Kenny Holcomb has joined us. Hi, Kenny. Michael Miller's joined us. Hi, Michael. Rena Crugnali-Berge, my cousin, in Boston. I'm dying to hear what the weather was like there. Chris DePiero, our friend in New Jersey. We love him. Daryl Mossberg. Hi, Daryl. Isabella Raskowski. That's my cousin Marisa. Jennifer Day. Carlos Hernandez has joined us from Texas. Jason Peck. We love Jason. Fatima Bravo. Hi, Fatima. That was my first baseman when I played softball. And Kenny Holcomb. He's in Tennessee. So we got a bunch of great people that have joined us. Belle Parker from Wisconsin. Hi, Belle. Marianne Marangola. Oh, my goodness. Incredible singer. Josephine Sanchez. I'm glad she's joined us because she's calling in. She is one of our incredible guests tonight. I'm very excited about this. So we want to welcome Melissa Driscoll. She just checked in. So what we're doing, if you're listening live on the radio right now and you're hearing me mention all these voices, Richard Portis has called in. Hi, Richard Portis. And, of course, my friend, Leo Rodriguez. He's what I call our accidental intern. Leo is watching live, and he will post as we go. So what I want to tell everybody about is there's so much happening. Even though it's cold out, it's New York, it's New Jersey, wherever you're driving in from. But that does not stop the music in this town. There's so much happening in the month of February and March. So there's always something to talk about in this town. And Rob Crugnali, my cousin, has joined us. Hi, Robbie. He's very handsome, like Robbie. Everybody loves him. So we want to welcome everyone. And what I want to tell you guys about is the reason Stephen Daniello's joined us. Gail Carroll has joined us. Reason that I'm calling out all these names is, if you're listening on the radio and you can't see us, is because I also Facebook Live the show. And the reason I do that is so that you can also see our wonderful guests when they're here. Tiana's with me. Hi, Tiana. Tiana's my aunt. She's lovely. I'm so glad you're watching. So that's why, because people are coming on our Facebook page and saying hello, and they listen. So please feel free. If you're just listening on the radio, just go to my Facebook page, which is Maria Gentile, Bentile, and my Facebook page is open, and you can watch us live. Or don't worry, because I do save the video, and you can watch it after that. So that's no problem. Okay, so tonight I have brought back one of my guests who is just under the classics category. This is a human being that is just classic entertainment, all the categories. And we were talking about Josephine Sanchez, who's going to call in. And I said, Richard, why don't you come on with her, since he is doing publicity for her as well. Dominic Pupa has called us. Hello, Dominic Pupa. He is checking in with us. So Josephine's going to call in, but I said, Richard, you have to come. So Richard has also brought Danny. Danny's in our studio audience, and I've made something very delicious for us. But please put your hands together for Richard Skipper.
That's me. We're here. Yay!
Oh,
Happy February.
Oh my God! Now
so great.
February is special, even though most people don't like February because it's freezing. But your birthday was yesterday.
My birthday was yesterday. Less than 24 hours ago, I turned 58.
Wow.
Yes, can you believe it?
That's wonderful. Yeah, we are in that same category, Richard. And just to show you, we didn't even call each other, but we're both wearing red.
We're both wearing red tonight.
Because it is absolutely, it's Valentine's Day, and Facebook enjoys.
And it's a power color.
It is a power color.
And it's interesting because, I did a show on Sunday, and I do something that a lot of people don't do. tell the audience what color to wear.
You do?
And so my entire audience is all in red.
Really?
And yes. So it's like the photographs, if you go to my Facebook page, look at the photographs from yesterday, everyone's in red. My band was all in red. My
Really?
singers were red. The audience was red. It was just incredible. And I do that with every show.
Okay, now you tell people what the show that you did last night was. Because he brought me a cup. Look at this. This says, Love Aquarius style. That's what the cup. He brought me this cup. Not only is it an amazing cup, but it has all the singers on it. Look at this.
Stacey Sullivan, Lena Katrakis, Meg Flather, Karen Mack, and Rosemary Lohr, all Aquarians. People have been telling me for years, you should do a one-man show. So yeah, I did a one-man show. I was the only male in the show. They were all female.
So that's your one-man show.
That was my one-man show. And
very clever.
The entire band were all female.
Really?
And I wanted, we had a female saxophone player, percussionist, Sherry Maracle, one of the best.
Oh, yeah, I know Sherry Maracle.
She's not an Aquarian.
No, but I know her very well. She's a good friend. And she's going to be on the show. The Diva Jazz Orchestra.
Oh, the best.
My God.
The best.
I can't believe it. They've come up many, many times.
And she's a Virgo. So we said it was an Aquarius band with a Virgo rising. And every time I said that, she would prize.
No. She's very funny.
Well, I tried to find an Aquarian percussionist who was a female. And there's a company, which I did not know, a drum company called Aquarius.
No.
Did you know this?
No.
I went to a drum store and I see Aquarius everywhere.
Really?
So I thought, well, this is crazy. So I called her and I said, I'm looking for an Aquarius female percussionist. And she says, you mean from the company Aquarius? I've worked for them.
Really?
I said, sold. You got the job.
You're kidding me.
So she ended up in the show.
You know, I can't believe it. Sherry is just one of the best of the best. We're going to have them on.
Love
They're just
Sherry.
always working. So I'm trying to, I'm going to line up some, not what we're going to do is something we don't normally do, but we are, because Josephine is not here, she's at home, she's a little under the weather. And also the
now,
weather
I have
was
a
crazy.
concern, which I'm going to ask you. So we're going to get technical right here on the air.
Yeah, why not?
When she calls in,
Yeah.
I've turned the volume down because there's feedback. Are we going to get feedback when she calls, or should she call you on your cell phone?
You know what? Maybe she should call me. That's good thinking.
Yes.
So, Josephine, you have my number. I'm not going to put it out over the air because forget about it. My phone will be blowing up. But you have my phone number. So, yeah, maybe in about 5 minutes, because I'm going to play Josephine's clip. I'd actually like to play it now. If
That's great.
okay.
And Scott Evan Davis, who I love.
Are you kidding me? He's
Great
beautiful.
songwriter.
But a great human being
Yes.
and a beautiful person. I just love Scott, and he's doing so well. He's been on the show.
Oh, he's
and
the
Scott,
best.
oh my God, so much is happening for Scott. We talked, Michael Barberi is called.
Michael Barberi is one of the most supportive, giving people
Yeah,
in this community.
Michael Barberi's
and
a
I
great
just
guy.
absolutely love him. And there's
And
Josephine
joined.
Sanchez.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. So, Richard, I want you to describe, I'm going to cue it up. I want you to describe Josephine, what her sound is, or what we should know a little bit about Josephine before she calls.
I'd like to say something about this week also happens to be Harold Arlen's show, birthday, and she is doing a show celebrating the music of Harold Arlen. She has this incredible, very pure sound when she sings, and the first time I saw her perform, I fell in love with her. She hit the cabaret scene, boom, she was out the gate, and she all of a sudden started winning all these awards and everything.
That's a good way to put it.
She truly is the real deal when she's performing.
Well, also here, I will tell you this. So the reason that I chose this song to play first is because that's exactly, this song I think represents what you're going to get from Josephine Sanchez. It is, you will immediately be turned on, you're going to turn around and listen to this person. Mm-hmm. You're going to listen to the sound and say, who is that? You're going to wonder who that is. And so we're going to play a little clip right now of Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, like you have not heard it before. And you can find this on YouTube as well. So hold on a second. We're just queuing this up. Okay, so this is a little bit of Josephine Sanchez.
Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Rub your eyes, get out of bed. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. She's gone where the gods the bells out. Ding dong, the merry-o. Sing it high, sing it low. Let them know the wicked witch is dead.
Wow.
Look at all the hearts.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun and into the light.
Are you guys loving this as much as I'm loving this? Okay, so that is Josephine Sanchez. And I'm going to turn this, I'm going to have her call in. Josephine, call in anytime now. So that is Josephine. Turn that down a little bit.
And I do want to give a shout out to John M. Cook, who is her musical director.
Who is going to come tonight as well.
Yes, who did these phenomenal arrangements, and they have such a rapport on stage together.
So he did all these arrangements.
Oh, he did all the arrangements.
Amazing.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they met, she'll fill us in on this, but I think that they met in church. She singing in the choir.
Wow.
Or she's, I guess, the featured vocalist in her church. Ann Kittredge is also here, who is another phenomenal singer, and I want to get Ann on your show, too.
Out.
Okay. She is.
All right, hold on. Hi, Josephine.
Hello, Maria.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing okay. It's a good thing you're not asking me to sing. That's all I can say.
Okay, so let me just let everybody know. Josephine was going to be live here on our show, and she's feeling a little under the weather, and it's also terrible weather out there, and you don't live so close, and it would have been a really slippery ride home. So we're so glad that you were able to call in.
I appreciate you for having me do this. I really do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let me just tell you, Josephine, and I do not waste words. We don't know each other. But when I heard you for the first time, I just stopped dead in my tracks.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And if I may interrupt, that's not lip service, because when I called you and said I'd like to get Josephine on your show, you said, "Oh my God, I love her voice."
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And someone had your CD, and I heard it. I forget where I heard it, but I just kept playing it over and over. And I thought, oh, who is this? Oh my God. So,
Thank you so much.
Josephine, you want to, you have a show coming up, right?
I do, yes. We're reprising our show, Come Shine. Like I just said, it's the music of Harold Arlen. We did it all last year, and we're doing it one more time here in New York before we go off to Chicago and do it at Davenport.
Okay. But you're from New York originally, right?
Yes. I grew up in Hollis, Queens.
Okay, great.
I live on Long Island in New Hyde Park, so but it's not far from New York City at all. So
yeah, no, not at all. Now, I always like to get like I like the backstory and all that. So Richard was telling me that you met your musical director in choir?
Not exactly in choir. We both are church musicians.
Wow.
So I worked in a church in Jackson Heights, and I needed someone to play. I sing, obviously. I needed an organist for a wedding. I needed a sub for a wedding, and a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, who each of us have known for many, many years. His name is Alfred Alongo. Recommended that I call John because he lived nearby. So even though we both knew this person, had this friend in common all these years, we hadn't met until we did that wedding about 5 or 6 years ago at this point. So,
but he is of another planet. What he plays, the sequence of notes and the choices that he makes, it's unheard of. It's just beautiful.
That's his arrangement. That is 100% his arrangement.
Incredible.
Now, Leo Rodriguez, does he live here in New York?
Yeah, he lives in
Now,
Brooklyn.
Leo has a question for you.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this.
Go ahead.
And the question is, does she sing Blues in the Night? Before you answer that question, don't answer.
Yes.
You have to come see the show to find out. But you won't be disappointed. That's all I'm going to say.
How could you be disappointed?
So there are so many Harold Arlen songs to choose from. How did you pick the songs that you put in the show?
Oh, gosh. Well, of course, I'm a big fan of Judy Garland, and I guess in my mental file cabinet had some songs of hers that I really wanted to do. This arrangement of Ding Dong the Witch is Dead also, I think, was a seed that we had planted in our heads. We had been doing this arrangement for a while, even when I started in cabaret about 4.5 years ago at this point.
4.5 years ago.
Yeah. So it just seemed like a natural segue. Seemed like
now, Josephine,
if we were going to do a tribute show, that he would be the person that we would celebrate.
Now, you said you just started 4 or 5 years ago.
In cabaret.
Yeah. In cabaret. And you're at the top of your game in cabaret. I would put you at the top of that file.
Thank you.
Now, did you, were you someone that even as a young person loved to sing? And are you like one of these very focused people that always had a goal and you go for it?
Well, I always loved to sing, and like many entertainers, I'm intrinsically shy. So
okay.
I didn't actually sing in front of people until I was 15 or 16 years old.
Wow.
And I knew I could sing way before that.
That was 10 years ago.
I wanted to thank you, Richard. I love you. It was something I wanted to keep very private for whatever reason. I still haven't figured that out. Why I really wanted to kind of hide that from the world, and then choir I came to our church, and a friend of mine dragged me along with her, and under protest, I didn't want to go, but one thing led to another, and then I was doing community theater and got very involved in music in the church, so that's been my career for the last 30 years. Should I say that, Richard? 30 years, yes. Yeah,
well, we're all there. We're all there. Now, see, you know what I think? I think that from hearing your story, that the universe had a plan for you, whether you liked it or not. And that plan was that we would be able to hear your beautiful voice, and it would have been a crime to hide it. So I'm so glad that you made the decision to come out into the light and sing, because it's just beautiful. I mean, thank you so much.
And I really do have to credit John for that, because he had more experience in the world of cabaret and the world outside of church music. And so when I first started, I had always had on my bucket list that I wanted to do a recording of some kind. And at that time, because church work was what I was doing, I asked him if he would work on a recording of sacred music with me. And he agreed, of course, but put his own spin on arrangements. I wanted to do Amazing Grace like you hear everybody do Amazing Grace.
Right.
Like I did it every Sunday. But no, he wasn't having any of that. He came up with a crazy arrangement, a wonderful arrangement of Amazing Grace, among other things.
Yeah, but how cool is that? Our musical directors are so amazing in that they hear things in us that we don't hear, and they hear things in our music that we wouldn't hear, So if you find these partnerships, it's incredible.
It really is.
Want to jump in there?
I do want to jump in, and I also want to acknowledge your director, Jeff Harner. And this show that Josephine will be doing on the 28th at the Laurie Beechman Theater. Tickets are still available. You can go to the Laurie Beechman Theater website and order tickets. But
on my website, you'll see the links too.
And on my pages as well.
And it's josephinesanchez.com.
But I want to acknowledge that this is not a new show that Josephine is doing. It's a very polished show that won many acknowledgements. The reviews have been phenomenal, and it's a perfect show.
Okay, tell us again where it is.
At the Laurie Beechman Theater, January 28th, 7 p.m. And they have a great menu there.
February 28th, right.
What did I say?
January.
Well,
that's all right.
It's the weather.
And what does that fall on, Josephine? What night does that fall on?
It's a Thursday night.
Thursday night, okay. And I love the Laurie Beechman Theater. That's a beautiful space, and they have food as well.
The food is great.
So make a night of it.
the West Bank Cafe.
Yeah, make a night of it. All right, well, Josephine, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Well, Leo has a question before we go.
Okay, Leo always has a question. Okay, so go ahead. What's Leo's question?
He wants to know if you sing in Mass.
Oh, every Sunday, yes, I do. I'm a director of music at a church here in New Hyde Park. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Great.
Thank you, Leo.
So I think you're converting a lot of people tonight, Josephine. They're going to come to Cabaret on Sunday and go to church on Saturday and go to church on Sunday.
Well, isn't that the way? Isn't that the way? You're doing God's work, Josephine. You're doing God's work.
Much.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you,
we very much appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Josephine Sanchez. And as soon as I hang up, I'm going to play another clip from another song. Okay?
That sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
Love you, love you, love you.
Love you too. Hope to meet you, Maria, sometime soon.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow. Okay, so that was Josephine.
She's just the greatest person. I just love her.
I was looking forward to meeting her, and I'm very sad that we didn't get to. But, you know, you can't look. You work with what... The weather was crazy. She wasn't feeling well, but why not have the interview anyway? These are the things we can do now. So I'm going to play a little bit of Old Black Magic, which is also... She has an album as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Celebrating the music of Ann Hampton Callaway.
Wow.
What can I do? I hear your name. With such a
If you want to get Josephine's album, how do people get her album?
Through her website, josephinesanchez.com.
And you can also probably get it on Spotify, maybe, as well?
I think so, yes.
Okay. All right, so... Isn't she amazing? She's amazing. The whole album is amazing. So that's Josephine Sanchez, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know about her before, you know about her now. You have no excuse. So go and look her up. Go and see her February 28th.
And I'll be there.
Richard will be there.
I'll be there.
And tell Richard that you saw him on the show. And tell him happy birthday. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Josephine Sanchez. How great was she?
I love her.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. That is amazing.
And Ann Kittredge is there, and I really would like to have Ann Kittredge on your show.
Do I know Ann Kittredge?
You should.
I will now.
Phenomenal singer. She's going to be, in May, she's going to be at the Feinstein's 54 Below.
Oh, boy.
Doing the music of Faraday and Aaron's. You know, so
sure.
Great music.
Who I love. Two of my favorite.
So do I too.
I love all their shows. So
and all that information will be on my website.
We'll have to get
Ann
on the show. Now, I must take a moment. I know we're doing many things, but this is something that happens on What's the Story with Maria. When my cousin Gina comes on, we have to clap. Gina Savino, everybody!
Yay!
All right, that's it. I'm telling you. That's the way it goes. Thank you. And Danny in the audience is clapping as well.
And Scott Clark, he is
phenomenal.
He is a tunist. He's a cartoonist, but he does these incredible caricatures. His caricatures should be up at Sardi's.
Who does it?
Scott Clark.
Scott Clark.
And he sends them to me. He's done one of me.
Caitlin Rose Cantrell has joined us as well.
And he's just phenomenal. So, Scott, I love the work he does. He has done Bette Midler and Cher and Carol Channing.
We should have Scott on the show as well.
Scott,
get a hold of me, okay?
Yes.
Just Facebook message me.
Come to New York.
Where is he?
I think he's in, is it Boston?
Well, I'm from Boston. Listen, let's work this out, Scott. Just get a hold of me. I love to meet new people. And we were talking about this earlier. I will talk to people everywhere, and Richard and I can talk for days. So my mother would call Richard and I chiacchierones. That's an Italian word that means chatty Cathy's. Mm-hmm. So we can talk to people. So I love to meet new people. So please, Scott, get a hold of me. Yeah, because that's a whole other... What this show is, in case you've never tuned into What's the Story with Maria, the mission of my show, of course, is to show off my friends. And I have the most amazing friends, and I love to make new friends. So, but it's creative people. We celebrate creative people, the creative process, and what the reality is. The day-to-day reality of being a creative person. Thriving, surviving, living in the city or wherever you live. What is that like, the reality of that? Michael, speaking of reality,
I love him.
Michael Vaccaro, I have more men that come on the show that are falling over themselves when you come on, and women.
Well, Michael Vaccaro, he doesn't call me, he doesn't write to me, and I'm one of his biggest fans. I always have been. So, Michael, call me.
And
for my birthday, call me.
Call him for his birthday, for Christ's
sake. And my sister just tuned in.
Where is Debbie?
Debbie Skipper Johnson.
Debbie Skipper, the last time you were on, when was the last time you were on the show? A couple months ago?
It was a few months ago.
Yeah, Debbie came on then too. That was a great show. I really enjoyed it. Now, just to let you folks know, let me just check the time here. I'd like to, just to let you folks know that this show, if you're catching it live, wonderful. You can hear us on armdigitalmedia.com. armradioglobal.com, and they have a new link coming now. You can also, with your TuneIn app, go to Armed Radio. So Armed Radio, it's called Armed Radio because it was started for the armed across across the country and the world. 66 other countries. Our military is listening, and we want to salute our incredible military across the world and the country, and thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
We want to say that right out of the gate. And also now there's something coming, a new link called bigradio.global, that this will also go on. So there's a lot of ways to listen, but I save the video afterwards and share it. Share it, please feel free to share it. And then you can watch it as many times as you like. Also, you can get it on Spreaker, which is a podcast house, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So if you go to any of those and type in What's the Story with Maria, it'll come up, and all the shows are archived. This is episode 83.
83, congratulations.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
So, Richard, we have so much to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so you had a show last night.
Day before yesterday.
Day before yesterday.
Sunday afternoon.
Okay. And how you've done this before, though, the Aquarius show.
No.
No?
No. It's very interesting. I did the show in, each month. I believe that every day is worth celebrating.
I love that about you.
So, and if you follow me on Facebook, every day,
it's
a holiday.
Every
single day is a holiday.
How cute is Richard?
And, thank you.
You're so cute. I love it.
Oh, I love you more. So, anyway, in September, I was doing a show, and Meg Flather was in the show. And Meg Flather and I were talking, and Meg Flather is an Aquarius, and of course I'm an Aquarian as well. And she, and I said, why don't we do this show? And she said, I believe that you said this because Lena Katrakis had spoken years ago about doing an aquarium show.
Lena hopefully will be on next week because they're doing...
I want to come back.
Well, Richard, you can get a free ticket anytime.
I love Lena.
Lena's amazing.
She was my first director in Cabaret.
Is that true? Yeah, she's a jack of all trades.
And we both, we both grew up in South Carolina.
Is that true? Military family. She's from a military family.
I wasn't a military family. I was a farm family.
I believe Lena's dad was in the military.
In the Navy.
Yes. So she'll be on next week, and we'll have to talk about the show again. But another thing I want to talk to you about before time flies by, which it does. And I didn't address it very much when it happened because I said, I cannot do this without having Richard talk about it. I was going to have you call in, but now you're here. So we want to talk about Carol Channing, legend, amazing person that you knew as a friend.
As a friend, right?
So first of all, I want you to tell us anything you want. If you don't know, Carol Channing did pass away a few weeks ago.
That's right, on January 15th. She was 97.
97.
She would have been 98 on January 31st.
Wow.
And this was the first time in 20 years that I did not send her sunflowers on January 31st.
Wow.
Because she loved sunflowers because of Vincent van Gogh.
Oh.
And so I would call Rancho Mirage Florist, and they would put together a nice arrangement. And if they didn't have a lot of sunflowers, they would put together all these yellow flowers. I said, just make it yellow and sunshiny and everything.
So I got you in the frame more.
And, there we are.
Look how pretty you are.
Oh, well, thank you. And so it's very interesting because, you would need at least 83 more shows.
I know.
For me to talk about...
But let's talk about your relationship with her because you were friends.
I will tell you a very, if you want to hear this story.
Sure, let me just stop you. So Debbie, what did Debbie say? Debbie wrote something. Maybe it might have been important. Hold on a second.
It's gone.
Debbie said...
Daddy was in the Navy too. Our dad was in the Navy.
All right. Thank you, Debbie. Jill Melamed has joined us. Okay. All right. I didn't.
So
Go ahead.
you and I were talking about this earlier. I grew up in the 1960s in South Carolina, and I was a product of variety shows and television
Which I
specials.
love as well. And Leo, you and Leo should meet. He's a great guy. You would be amazing friends.
Well, friend me Leo, and
come on.
you know, we'll
Leo's
stay
an
in touch.
amazing person. He loves variety shows too, like we do.
But my introduction to Carol Channing was actually through Lucille Ball, because Lucille Ball did on the Lucy show where she impersonated Carol Channing.
Really?
And I thought that it was just this fabricated, cartoonish character that she created, not realizing that Carol Channing was a real person.
Oh, wow.
And then shortly after that, I saw Carol Channing and Pearl Bailey on their television special together when Pearl Bailey was doing Hello Dolly on Broadway. The two of them came together, did a special, and interestingly, in my closet, I have 3 costumes from that special. Life is funny. But so I grew up, anytime I would go through the TV guide, and if I saw that Carol Channing was going to be on The Love Boat, or on a talk show, or The Muppets, or anything else, I had to tune in. And so
So you're just fascinated with her.
I was just fascinated.
Did you know why? What was it about her that you were drawn to?
She was this bigger-than-life personality. Was always, for me, she was always giving and giving and giving to the audience. She seemed to be having the time of her life when she was on stage. And so I fell in love with her. And so years later, I moved to New York. I'm reading in the newspaper, Lynn Fontaine had passed away, and Carol Channing was going to be speaking at the memorial service.
Wow.
So I went to the memorial service, and I'm standing in front of the Lynn Fontaine Theater. Carol Channing and Helen Hayes and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. are all standing in front.
Wow.
And Carol Channing says to Helen Hayes, "We're going over to Sardi's to have a bite to eat. Why don't you join us?"
This is great.
I am sitting there, and
your ear went,
I went, right there. And so she said, "Yes, we have a table at Sardi's." True story, I swear to God, I ran to Sardi's. I said to the maitre d', I was a friend of Carol Channing's.
No. Richard.
Yes. That she's going to be coming over. Yes. She was going to be coming over. And I wanted not to sit at her table, but could they put me at the next table? So
Wow.
I was seated as close to Carol Channing as you are to me right now. And I'm sitting there, you know, like listening to everything she said. I was holding on to every word.
And they believed you.
They believed me.
Wow.
Well, I knew that she was coming there. How else would I know that she was coming there?
Right. That is true.
Right.
That is true. Boy. Okay, Kevin Leonidas Alexander has joined us. Hi, Kevin. Kevin's an amazing director, and he was one of the co-writers at Tony and Tina's wedding. So he's a
So
showbiz
25 years later, I'm having lunch with Carol Channing at the Boathouse in Central Park. And I told her this story.
You did?
When Carol Channing got her start on the Palm Springs Walk of Fame, I stayed at her home in Palm Springs. There's a documentary on Carol Channing, Larger Than Life. I'm in the documentary.
How do we see that?
It's on Netflix. Yes, it's on Netflix. That Carol talking to us.
It is. Yeah.
Yes, or you can. You know, it's available on Amazon.com.
And it's called again?
Carol Channing, Larger Than Life.
Larger Than Life.
And
I love documentaries.
You know, when we haven't talked about this, and I don't really want to focus on this because this is about Carol, but I performed as Carol for 20 years.
Oh, that I know. Well, when I would think of one of the reasons I wanted you to talk about Carol Channing is because when I, being someone that didn't know you at first as a person, but I knew of your impersonation, and it was, it was legendary.
Well, I am writing a one-man show, and there's a whole section in the show about how this all came to be.
Yeah.
We're opening on August 5th at St. Luke's. Shameless plug there.
No,
Jay Rogers is directing
nothing is
the show.
shameless when you have to plug something. This is the place to do it.
Jay Rogers is directing it, I will be going into details about how this all came about. But I would perform as Carol at open mics, not dressed as Carol, just getting up and singing at parties. I would get up; they would always get me up to perform as Carol. And
are there any YouTube clips that people can find?
I took them all off.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I took them off because It's been 8 years since I performed as Carol.
Okay.
And in this business, there are still people who think that's all that I do.
Okay. Well, I can see that.
So
I can see that.
But anyway, when Carol Channing came back to Broadway in 1997 in Hello Dolly, a friend of mine called me up, and he said, "I'm telling you right now, if you don't do a show about Carol Channing, you're making the biggest mistake of your life."
Wow.
And I said, "Well, what if audiences don't like it?" And he says, "Well, then you'll know.
Right.
But you've got to do it." So I started putting...
Sometimes it's what do you have to lose?
I started putting a show together. My first show was called Carol Channing's Broadway. I put the show together, and all this will be in the show again. As fate would have it, I got the chance to do my show for Carol Channing before I opened it. And I didn't really know.
Me?
Yes, and I really didn't.
What did she say?
Well,
did she tweak anything?
No.
Really?
First of all, I came into the room. I was dressed as Carol. It was an after party. They were honoring Jerry Herman, and I was told that Carol Channing was going to be there.
Oh my God!
So I came into the room, and they walked me to Carol's table, and she looked up, and the first thing she said to me was, "Where did you learn to do this?" And I said, "Bennington College in Vermont." "You do know where that is, Carol? It's the lower left-hand corner part of the map, the part of the state that's always purple," which was her material. And she said, "How long have you been impersonating me?" And I said, "Well,
she didn't know."
No.
Wow.
And I said, "Well, who's to say you're not impersonating me?"
Great comeback.
She loved it. We sat down, we talked for about 10, 15 minutes.
What a good story.
And I said, "Carol, before you go, in character, before you go, I'd like to do a song for you." And she said, "You would like to do a song for me?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'd like to do the whole show, but I'm sure you don't have that much time." And she said, "Well, make the time. You tell me when." I said, "Upstairs in 10 minutes.
No.
She stood up. Danny can tell you, I'm telling you the truth. She turned around and she said to the entire room, "I never thought I'd say these words, but in 10 minutes we're going upstairs to see Carol Channing."
No.
She came up on stage.
This is great.
She came up on stage. She sat on a stool in front of me, and I did my entire show for her. And I finished the show, and she got up and she spoke to the audience, and she said it was the first time that she had been shown with respect and love, polish.
Wow.
And she
That's
said,
an amazing story.
She said, "This is not an impersonation as much as it is a Valentine."
Oh.
And
it's Valentine's week.
And it's Valentine's week. So I told her that I was writing the show.
Wow.
And I only wanted to open the show with her blessing. And she said, "Take the gauntlet and run with it." I
love this.
I opened it, "Don't Tell Mama," in my
What
first...
year was that? Do you remember?
1997. And I opened, and one night, sitting in the audience, true story, sitting in the audience was a producer who said she was producing a show in Atlantic City. And I went to Atlantic City, and I headlined at Grump's Taj Mahal.
Oh,
yes.
My God.
I did 8 wonderful weeks there with Pudgy. Do you remember Pudgy? Comedian? Phenomenal
really?
comedian.
I'll have to look up Pudgy. Maybe I do for face, but not. Let me just take a moment. Those are incredible stories. All right, Jackie Fornatel has joined Jackie. John De Palma. Hi, John De Palma.
Oh, hello, John.
We love Jackie and John. All these great cabaret people that have come on and singers.
Jackie Fornatel.
How do you not love Jackie? Sarah Elizabeth Demonic. I think that's how you pronounce it. I went
to Atlantic City. We did a show, and it was the only time in my life that I ever worked with tracks. And
you have to sometimes something like that.
I hated it, and I said I will never do, because with me,
I know I like live.
I'm a very in the moment performer.
Of course,
I want to go stop the music, and I'm in the audience with the audience. It's about the audience for me, and that's one trait that I think that Carol and I did share. It's always about the audience.
It has to. Well, you said that about her way back when. Mm-hmm. It's her connection to the audience,
and
people love that. They pick that up. That's why they love. People love to be included. You know, people that go to see shows, they love to connect with a performer.
But it was a funny story. I came back, the show ended in Atlantic City, and then I got a call from Mark Rosen, who's married to Arlene Dahl, and Cindy Adams had just launched a new perfume called Gossip.
No.
And they were going to do this in a salon, and they wanted me to show up as Carol.
No!
So I am there.
You have the best story.
As Carol.
You have the best story.
Well, when do you see my show? Come see my show.
But you're in August, right?
In August.
Okay,
August
so we'll
5th.
have to plug it when that happens.
So
oh my God.
I am
So
there
funny.
as Carol Channing. The elevator's open, and who steps off the elevator but Carol Channing?
No!
And
Keep bumping into her.
And Arlene Dahl says, Carol, look who's here. It's Carol Channing. And Carol comes up to me, and she says, I have a bone to pick with you. My heart went up in my throat.
Oh,
I
no.
thought, my career is over right now.
Oh, no.
She said, all my friends think I'm performing in a small club on West 46th Street. What do I tell them?
Oh,
I said, tell them you're performing in a small club on West 46th Street. She said, you know I have.
This is great.
Yes, and then we became, and again, over the years, we became friends. She went through what was the end of a very messy marriage.
Yeah.
And then she started making a comeback again, and she was at the Village Gate.
Wow.
And by this time, she had married Harry, who was her last husband.
How many husbands did she have? 4.
Wow.
And these women,
yes.
like Rue McClanahan, same thing. Michael LaRue was on maybe about a year ago, and he was friends with the same thing. She had
oh my God.
Or something.
Were they all hers?
What was it?
No.
That's a good one. I don't know how many, but it was Michael LaRue. Will have to come on. But that's funny.
So
it's true. It's crazy. They used to do this.
She
back
married
in the day.
Harry Collegian. That was her last husband. What did my sister say?
I have the bottle you sent
oh my
me
God.
of Gossip.
I don't even have it.
Oh my God. Hold on to that, Debbie.
Yeah.
Michael Bradley has joined us. And Jeannie Soul. Jeannie Soul's an incredible singer. Hi, Jeannie.
So, Carol had married Harry Collegian. And Carol and I appeared together in San Francisco. And so Harry Collegian, I went over and I introduced myself. And I said, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Richard Skipper. And he said, no, you're not. I said to Carol, if I had met him first, I probably would have married him.
No. This is so
he said,
great.
you are the best.
Wow.
He said, I've gone online. He said, I've watched everything. He said, here's our number. Give us a call.
Oh, my God.
This card sat in my wallet for, this was October, and until Christmas.
Wow.
And on Christmas Day, I thought, I'm going to call Carol. And this was the first time I called her. And I called Carol and I said, it's Richard Skipper. She said, I've been sitting by the phone waiting for your call.
Oh, my God.
So she said, what
She really loved you.
She said,
She
what
was
took
connected
you
to you.
so long? And I said, well, I didn't want to just call, and she says, call anytime.
Oh, how sweet.
And so over the years, we, when Danny and I got married, she called us our wedding night.
Oh, really?
She says, how long have you been together? And at that point, we've been together 21 years.
Wow.
She says, and he waited.
Oh. How funny.
She was very funny. She called one day, she says, I've never fried an egg. Can you tell me how to fry an egg? And I'm on the phone telling Carol Channing
how to fry an egg.
And Danny's mom and I shared a birthday. And one time Carol called us on our birthdays to sing to us.
Oh my God,
and,
that's amazing.
And one of my favorite, she was doing an interview with Harry Collegian because they started doing work for the for arts and education.
Okay.
And I was asked to be on the advisory board for her foundation.
Wow.
So they're doing this interview, and at the end of the interview, the interviewer said, Ms. Channing, I have to ask you, you're probably the most impersonated person in show business. Who's the best at impersonating you? She said, well, I never answer that question because I have no perspective of who I am. And Harry goes, it's Richard Skipper. She said, Harry, do you really think it's Richard Skipper?
Wow.
And he said, yes, it's Richard Skipper. Harry, why do you think it's Richard Skipper? It was always Richard Skipper. It wasn't just Richard. It was Richard Skipper.
Well, I've always said both
yes.
names, yeah.
And she said, Richard Skipper, why do you think it's Richard Skipper? He says, because when he's on stage, he's you. She said, do you really think so,
my
Harry?
God, this is
and he
hysterical.
said, yes, it's Richard Skipper. She said, well, there you have it.
Oh,
and that was her way of getting around it. Now,
wow.
and I had a great experience where she came to see my show. And I'm on stage performing, and I'm telling the story that I used to tell in the show. about Carol Channing's first time on stage. And I said, I was standing on stage of the Curran Theater in San Francisco, and I knew I was standing on holy ground. And in the audience, Carol goes, "It's hallowed ground!"
No.
And of course, the entire audience at this point knows that Carol Channing is in the audience.
Wow.
And, yes.
I have to stop you for a
Oh,
moment.
wait a minute. Tomorrow's the 13th.
Yeah, tomorrow's the
Yes.
13th. And then Valentine's Day is the 14th. We have to do our meal. We have to do our food, Richard.
Yes. But 8 years ago,
Yeah.
tomorrow, I performed in Palm Springs for Carol Channing and Harry Collegian
Wow.
for their foundation.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
8 years ago.
And that was the I performed as Richard, but it was the last time that I really performed in a show specifically about Carol Channing.
Well, sometimes it's good to just leave things the way they are. And what a great place to pause it.
Right.
Right? What a great tribute. Thank you for sharing all that with us.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Skipper, who had, I always put Carol Channing and Richard together in my brain. So we really appreciate that. Now, we want to go to the section of our show because we only have 10 minutes left. Can
Oh,
you believe
wow.
that?
Wow.
I know, maybe not even. So, it is Valentine's week. We are celebrating Valentine's week. And, okay, so what have I made? First of all, I was just going to make grilled chicken and a salad. Richard told
that
me he was
looks
on a
good.
diet.
Yes.
And Josephine's on a diet too. But now, today Richard called me and said, the hell with the diet. I need comfort food.
Because she's such a great cook.
Thank you so much. So what have I made? I made chicken with herbs. So I used marjoram, thyme, rosemary. And then I roasted red peppers. I love roasted red peppers that come in the jar there. Roasted red peppers, and I sauteed those in with the chicken, threw some peas in there, garlic, and chives. That is our delicious pasta, and that is over. This new pasta is called casarecci. Casarecce. I never heard of it, but they almost look like little mini cavatelli. They're thinner, which pasta like that, the stuff really, it holds the stuff. So that's...
Now, are these
and
family
my one.
recipes, or are these
I
recipes
just
that you make
create
up?
them. I
Okay.
make them up as I go. Sometimes I make them up on the spot. Now, here is our beautiful salad for Valentine's Day. Look at this salad.
Bill Guffey's coming over.
But you know what? He's always coming over. All right, so here is this beautiful salad. What is it? We're going with the red leaf lettuce, red cabbage, red onion, red delicious apple, and for those who have your heart broken, blue cheese crumble.
Oh!
So look at that.
Danny
So that's our
loves
salad.
blue cheese.
Yes, well, Danny, you're in for a treat. And what am I using for vinegar? Pomegranate, because it's red. Pomegranate vinegar with extra virgin olive oil. That is our... Smell that. Smell that, Richard. And that's
Oh my God! I may never leave.
You probably won't. I'm telling you. Now, it is. Let me see. It is also. We had to do red velvet cake, cupcakes, but it's Richard's birthday yesterday. Hold this. I'm lighting your candle, and we are gonna sing "Happy Birthday" to Richard because it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh my
so
God!
everybody, Danny, help us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Richard Skipper.
That's me.
That's him. Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
Blow out your candle, Richard. Happy birthday, Richard. And happy birthday, Aquarians out there. Now you know you have another celebrity that you can put in your category. Now, Richard was nice enough. He said, what can I bring? I said, nothing, but he brought it anyway. Richard, I'm going to give you your...
Okay.
This is... tell us what this is.
This is a sparkling
Cider, grape cider.
but it's not alcoholic. Neither of us drink.
Neither of us drink, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy a delicious sparkling cider.
right.
And Richard brought some. Look at this beautiful fruit salad. I'm a huge fan of the fruit. How about you?
Yes, me too.
We love fruit. All right, Danny. How about you? You like fruit?
Yeah.
Yes. Danny says yes.
Thank you, Josephine.
So thank you, everybody, and we want to also thank Josephine for calling in. This is delicious. Let's enjoy this.
I want to remind everyone again,
Please
for
do.
those of you who are just tuning in, that Josephine Sanchez will be at the Laurie Beachman Theater on February 28th, not January 28th.
Right.
February 28th, and she will. Well, January 28th is.
It's happened.
Gone.
It's happened.
It's gone.
It's yesterday's news.
7:00. And make your reservations, and then when you get there, ask to sit at our table. We'll have a great time.
Well, how many people are going to fit at that table? Because you know this gang, they're all going to want to sit
Let
with you.
Danny come in for just a second. My sister wants to see
a second?
you.
Danny can stay longer. Danny, come here. Come here. How
yes.
cute is Danny, everybody?
Yes.
Give Danny a big hand.
Hi, Debbie.
Danny, this is Richard's husband, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny, are you in show business too?
No, I'm a landscape architect.
Even better.
And I crashed the car this morning.
What?
You had an accident
Because
this
of the
morning.
snow?
Yeah, on the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Oh,
It was
no.
a 4-car pileup. So.
Really?
Yeah.
But does it still work?
No.
No.
How did you get here?
We have a rental
Rented.
tonight.
All right. So you've had an accident. You've rented a car. You've driven here in the snow. You've found parking, and you still look fabulous.
Well, it's the lighting here.
I'm telling you. So Richard, when
At
you told
Shea
me,
Gentili.
let me see. Okay, so Leo has put up the link for Josephine Sanchez.
God bless you, Leo. Thank you for doing that.
Jimmy, how we doing? How much time we have? I think it's about 5 minutes we have. Maybe not even. Jimmy is our engineer and producer. He's an amazing guy, and he's doing all the shows and running the commercials. So thank you for that. So Debbie wants to. He needs to be. He's a great comedian. And
Always
always
makes me laugh. That's good.
Oh, look at
Mario Cantone.
Mario, a toast
Thank
to our
you.
friend
I
Mario.
love Mario.
Who doesn't love Mario?
I know.
Okay. So
One
Mario,
of the funniest people on the planet.
yes, he is.
If
But
not-
he's also super smart.
That's right.
Not
if
just
not
funny,
the
he's
funniest. And I have to tell you,
Yeah.
I'm not the only one with a cute husband.
Oh, I know. Now
I
this
know.
is Mario. This is Danny. This is Richard Skipper's adorable husband, and so that's what you're referring to. Jerry Dixon's
Yes,
pretty hot.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a hot guy. So anyway, we're enjoying a delicious grape. What is this again? Sparkling
sparkling
cider.
cider.
So Danny.
Mario, we want you
What's
back
up
on The
on the next
View.
show?
He hasn't been on The View in a
What's
while.
up for your next show?
Next show. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Our next show is Marcus Simeone, who's my favorite male vocalist of all time. Marcus Simeone, Sean Harkness, Lena Katrakis, and John Hoagland's coming too. You see, I lure them in with dinner.
But I will tell you this, in my one-man show, there's going to be some singing,
Yeah.
and Sean Harkness and I are going to do just a solo with just guitar.
He's amazing.
He's the best.
Sean Harkness, yeah, will be on next week, so I'm hoping that they can all make it because they have a show coming up as well at Don't Tell Mamas.
Yes.
The four of them.
Well, they are now going to be like artists in residence, and you know who they just opened for, don't
Ooh.
you?
Oh, Air Supply.
Air Supply.
Yeah, they'll talk about that. They opened
Yes.
for Air Supply in Staten Island.
That's amazing.
Lena, I love her. She was my first director.
We were in Tony and Tina's wedding together.
You were?
Lena and I. That's how
Wow.
we met.
Were you in Tony and Tina's wedding with Dana Lorge? She ended at the
No,
same
I
time?
think she
That
might have been
same
in
one?
off afterwards. I was in it from 91 to 98.
I'll tell you something very quickly because I know we don't have a lot of time. But the first time I went to San Francisco to perform as Carol,
We're good. We have about 4
Tony and
minutes.
Tina's wedding was going on.
Yeah.
And we were making appearances, and we crashed the wedding.
No.
And I appeared as Carol. All the people that were there thought that Carol Channing was part of was an ongoing thing.
I believe it.
But it sold my show out, and I was sold out for an entire week based on my appearing at Tony and Tina's wedding.
But you see, that's how things work. We find out about each other. Like, that's another reason why I love doing the show, because people get connected to each other. People Facebook friend each other. They go to each other's shows. They discover new art that they've never seen before or heard before. This is what I love about New York. New York is constantly moving. There's something happening all the time. We're all connected. And it's just beautiful. Like even today I was out, it was slushy and snowy, and there's no place else I'd rather be.
I agree.
No place. Danny, where are you from originally?
Niagara Falls, near Niagara Falls.
Okay, so you're
Near
in New York.
Buffalo,
Near
so.
Buffalo.
Yeah, snow's no big deal.
No, absolutely. And I'm from
But I had it
Massachusetts,
out
so
today, and I should have stayed at home.
I can't believe you were in that car pileup. Oh, so Karen Livingston has joined us. Hi, Karen. Karen is a musical director. She's out in California.
Oh,
Amazing.
wonderful. Where
Amazing.
in California?
I'm not sure. Karen, you can type that in, but she's amazing. I've known her for a long, long time. She's great. So now on the horizon, your show you say is in August.
We're going to be back on May 5th for the next and for now the last installment of Richard Skipper Celebrates.
Okay.
And then
And that's always at the Laurie Beachman.
that's at the
right?
Laurie Beachman, and then an evening with Richard Skipper from Conway to Broadway, because it's really about my story of leaving South Carolina, coming to New York, with a huge emphasis
And
on
Conway
the show.
being your hometown.
Conway is my hometown, just outside of Myrtle Beach. But the emphasis is on the first 10 years of my life in New York, when I was on my own before I met Danny. When you know what it's like when you come to New York, you don't know anyone, you deal with roommates ripping you off, and all kinds of crazy things going on.
Stories.
But I was talking about this yesterday. So many of us arrived in New York at the same time.
Right, yeah, we did.
And there was that magical time when we went to the Five Oaks, and we went to 88's, and we were at the original duplex, and Maurice Crisis and everything, and it was just this circuit that we were all in together.
Yep, and it's true. But you know what? What I always try to. How much time do we have, Jimmy?
You got about a minute.
A minute. Okay. Oh my God, we're running up. Okay, we could talk forever, and you can come back every week, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on What's the Story with Maria. It's on my Facebook page. It comes live. But it goes through armeddigitalmedia.com, armedradioglobal.com, and soon bigradio.global. And also you can find this show archived in podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker. And please come back every week and see us. We appreciate you. Happy Valentine's Day. Danny, I'm so glad you're here.
I love you, Carolyn Montgomery. I'm singing with Carolyn Montgomery on the 30th
of March.
Carolyn
Montgomery. She's going to be on the show soon.
Yes, at the Den.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Armed Radio. We love you very much. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Fine with me.